We know that abortion is a spiritual issue, for sure. A lot of times we talk about abortion in a political sense, even in sort of like it's a human rights violation, and all of that is true. But I think sometimes we fail to see just the demonic side of abortion. We're going to uncover some things about the abortion industry that you likely have never heard before. We're going to be kind of deep diving into the abortion industry, abortion clinics, and these abortion doctors who are actually committing the abortions themselves. So I'm really looking forward to this. I think this is going to be very interesting. I think it's going to be a very powerful series, and I'm very excited for you guys to come along this journey with us.
Dr. Carhart gave Kristen RU486, but he administered RU486 to Kristen vaginally instead of orally.
They found Kristen lying in quote-unquote huge amounts of coffee grounds, blood and fluid, way more than you would normally see. Dr. Carhart was on top of Kristen trying to force fluids from her stomach. It was already too late as Kristen was bleeding from every orifice by that point and passed away at 4:14 p.m. later that evening. Dr. Carhart faced no criminal charges.
Investigators at the Will County Sheriff's Office would get a head start on having their own lives upended by what they were about to see in the garage of the late Dr. Ulrich George Klopfer. There were boxes and boxes of Klopfer's personal items and mementos.
He and his team were told that relatives had discovered fetal remains in many of those boxes. District attorney, detectives, and investigators on suspicion of drug trafficking were not prepared to see the mass destruction of dozens of mutilated victims in every nook and cranny of the facility. My grasp of the English language doesn't really allow me to fully describe how horrific this clinic was. Rotting bodies, fetal remains, the smell of urine throughout, bloodstained, Philadelphia District Attorney Seth Williams said during the trial, according to CNN. Abortion is what Dr. Hearn believes he was meant to do. In an interview with PBS NewsHour, he said, "I became convinced that performing abortions was the most important thing I could do in medicine." When asked once if he would do an abortion for a woman with no health issues at 30 weeks pregnant, he answered, "Every pregnancy is a health issue. There's a certifiable risk of death from being pregnant, period." All of these abortion doctors have left trails of women hurt, women dead, and lives extinguished in their wake. They are only the tip of the iceberg. Sometimes you just don't know the extent of the damage done by serial killers until long after judgments are made and court cases are closed.